Hi, everybody. This is Dana Donifrey, and welcome back to our series In the Dressing Room, where we love to highlight those that love to support our community. And I can't wait to introduce you all to Jacki from Survivor Friendly, based out of Cary, North Carolina, who has not even just an incredible story about herself, but an incredible story about her community and how she's helping everybody in Cary, North Carolina and beyond. So Jacki, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, Dana. It's so good to be here.
Well, I am just so incredibly proud of how far you've come, both as a human, personally and professionally. So why don't we just jump right into the nitty gritty? Tell us, why are we here today? Tell us a little bit about your background and what started you to create such a beautiful space for cancer patients.
So absolutely. So, man, back in 2013, I was diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer. I went and did my typical yearly, doctor's visit, and doctor said everything was fine. And then I did a self-check in the shower, and I never do self-checks. Something didn't feel right. And so I eventually went to the doctor, and sure enough, it was cancer. So I had a lumpectomy, went through all my treatments, radiation, chemotherapy, and I was somewhat prepared to lose my hair, even though it was a very traumatic event. I was expecting that, along with some other side effects. But what I didn't know is my nails would turn jet black. I didn't know I would swell from lymphedema. I didn't know my eyebrows wouldn't grow back. My eyelashes were gone. And a number of things that were happening to my body simultaneously as I was going through my treatment. And so as time progressed, I was clinically declared cancer-free, and decided to do surgery to, achieve some symmetry from my lumpectomy. And my plastic surgeon, who reduced my breast to achieve that symmetry, took the tissue and sent it off, and lo and behold, cancer again. So after that episode, I decided to get a bilateral mastectomy and implants. And again, I didn't go through chemotherapy and radiation, but again, my chest area was very heavily scarred, and there was a number of things that I went through as a result of the radiation. But we got to the end of the goal. It was close to getting my areola and nipple recreated, and lo and behold, I did another self-check and found yet another tumor. And so I had to have yet another double mastectomy. And that brings me to where we are today. After I finished my surgery, unwrapped myself, it was a shock factor, to be honest with you. You think you're prepared for it, but when you look in the mirror and it's like, oh my gosh, something I'm used to seeing for all of your life, all of a sudden gone, it takes you a moment to kind of catch your breath. And when I did, I finally contacted my insurance, found a boutique, and went and got breast prosthesis. And at that time, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know they existed. And so I went and got them, and I was just happy that I had something there, because, girl, let me tell you, when you lose your breast, it makes your stomach bulge a little bit more than normal. So I was really, really, really anxious to get something there, right? So I could have some level of symmetry. But as time progressed, and as I got, as I healed and got accustomed to wearing the breast prosthesis, there were a couple of things that disturbed me. Number one, Dana, it didn't look like me. Mm-hmm. As you can see, I'm an African-American Black woman, and the prosthesis I had was pink. And then the second thing was, I love lingerie like nobody's business. I mean, even if it's just for myself, even though my husband loves it, but I love it even more. And everything I could find in those boutiques were all bland looking bras. And look, I don't knock that, to each his own, but for me, I like the lace, I like the material that feels really soft, I like the color, I like all those things, but I couldn't find it for me. And then as I needed other items to help supplement the physical changes I was dealing with, I couldn't find it. And I had to keep going through insurance and getting gap exceptions and calling all over the place, getting wigs made and all these different things. I said, my gosh, I have great insurance. I have a couple of coins. I ain't rich, but I got a couple of coins. I can buy what I want. And none of that mattered. I still could not get what I wanted. And going through this 3 times over the space of 6, 7 years, I was still finding myself going through the same thing. And so I said, look, I can't be alone. So we went to NC State University. We did a research project, and we've surveyed over 100 women, Dana. And 100 women came back with the same type of experience, that they had a hard time finding what they needed, had to visit multiple places to get really what they wanted. They had a hard time going through and, getting insurance to cover those items that they really needed. And in some cases, they didn't even know insurance covered those items until years later. So that then said, wait a minute, we have a pervasive problem, not only in this space because of ethnicity, because that's originally I thought it was because I was Black, I couldn't find what I wanted. But what that survey or that data or that research said to me was this was a pervasive problem, independent of color. Anybody that had breast cancer or any kind of cancer at that matter had a hard time really getting those things that makes them feel whole, that makes them feel feminine. So that is the reason why I started Survivor Friendly, our durable medical equipment that's really focused on helping that woman go beyond the diagnosis.
You are such a powerhouse. You and I have spoken multiple times. I love your love of lingerie. I can respect and understand. And I think what is so impactful about this is that not only are we as breast cancer patients limited to what there is to offer when it comes to all of these different facets of our life, but specifically, if you are a woman of color, the option pool even limits itself even more so.
That's right. That's right.
And even with your surveying of 100 women, I remember first starting Ana Ono, and I surveyed all in all about over 500 women through the years as I was building the brand. And this, I'm telling you, Jacki, was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, fast forwarding through your experience and where we are today, it's because of places like you that we're trying to change the story. We're trying to give cancer patients a safe, friendly, beautiful place to go so they can get everything that they need. So tell us about Survivor Friendly and what was your inspiration in actually like stepping out and like doing something about it?
Yeah, so when I first was diagnosed, and as I aforementioned, that there were a lot of side effects that I wasn't aware of. I remember I made a decision that I was not letting cancer stop my life. Everybody has their own way of coping. So I'm not saying this to obviously shame anybody that take time off work or anything like that. But for me, my comfort zone was to continue to work. So to God's grace, I did that. And at the end of, me finishing my treatment, I treated myself and said, finally, I could go get my nails done, because you can't get your nails done, those sort of things because of your compromised immune system. So when I finally went and got my nails done, I'd never forget it. I sat down, I was ready to get them done. And I noticed that the nail technician was very hesitant. And then I realized she don't understand why my nails are Black, because they was like genuinely Black. So I have to explain this to her because I don't want her to think it's anything contagious or fungus. Then I thought to myself, that was the first time, Dana, and through the whole journey, obviously you have your moments, but I never felt so small at that moment. And I felt embarrassed. And I thought to myself, how unfair is this? I just battled for my life, right? I just went through hell and back. And here I am sitting in a nail shop feeling small. Something is wrong. And that's when we went and created a beautiful logo called Survivor Friendly. And I actually have a necklace to represent our logo that we sell. And you'll notice in our logo, we have different ribbons. It represents all the different types of cancer. But the purpose was to go out to the marketplace and educate people on the side effects that one can experience when they're going through treatment for cancer. So that when they do go in these places of business, it takes out that unconscious shock factor that people may not even be aware that they're providing to people as they go into their place or when they go back into the workplace. If you talk to different cancer survivors, a lot of people don't go back to work because they do feel ashamed, or they feel like they look so different, or they don't feel as beautiful as they were before. So as a result, they don't even go, or don't even feel like answering questions, right? And so our mission was to create this emblem and give it to businesses so they can put it on their place of business, put it on their website, so that survivors will know when they go into the catalog, our little app, they'll know which business is survivor friendly so they can go and get the services they needed. So that's how we started. And we distributed bags to kind of help supplement those various things that physical changes that people were going through. We helped supplement those changes by giving bags that had different makeup items in them. And we would give them to different cancer centers. And that was our way of just trying to help people because insurance doesn't cover everything. Which is a whole nother discussion. But that's how we started Survivor Friendly initially.
I mean, you're just again, like to have that ribbon, I think it's so important what you said, like when you just said you just felt so little. And the only way I've sort of identified that feeling in my own life is that I felt broken, because the world kept telling me, like, you can't go get your nails done. You can't go to a regular hairdresser because now, you need all these special products, or a wig. You can't go into a lingerie store because they don't have bras for you. And you're just like, every path that you wanted to head down that felt like your life was just like one more rug that was being pulled out from underneath your feet. And with what you've been able to do, I love the sign in the other places of business. What an incredible concept to say, like, we are friendly for a service provider here for what it is that you're going through. But with Survivor Friendly specifically, like, you guys are a one-stop shop.
Absolutely.
Like, so many things that cancer patients need. I mean, tell us a little bit about what can somebody really expect when they come there? I know that you do wigs, you do lymphedema, you do mastectomy. Tell us a little bit about all of your little services and how somebody can really go and get the support that they need.
Absolutely. So bridging from the kind of philanthropy work we were doing to help our cancer survivors and thrivers, we decided to start a DME business as a result of the research that I mentioned to you in my own experience. And so I wanted to really create a one-stop shop for survivors. And I had a couple of things in mind. I wanted to be diverse because my research and looking at other boutiques across the country seem to be one note, right? There's typically a white woman in her, 60s, 70s that typically run a boutique. And so even though I am grateful for that generation that have, created a platform for you and me to continue to carry that torch, I thought that it needed to be more diversity so people can feel represented when they come in and get these type of services. Number two, I want to broaden the selection, right? Typically, a lot of the boutiques focus on merchandise that is very specific to what insurance will cover. But for people like me that just want beautiful lingerie and didn't care if the insurance covered it or not, I wanted to be able to also include in my boutiques a section for breast cancer survivors in there as well. So we wanted to be able to have a variety of options for our women. And then number three, I wanted to be a one-stop shop, not just, you can think about, wigs and, breast forms, as well as mastectomy bras. We also wanted to provide other items such as nail polish, which a person who's not a survivor wouldn't understand that. But for somebody who went through it, understands why you need nail polish and why you need kits like that is all natural, so that as you're going through your chemotherapy, you can still take care of your nails, but do it in a safe manner that you don't cause any problems. We also want to have skincare products, right? That's all natural. We wanted to also have jewelry because I never wore makeup before I went through cancer. My hair is really short and curly, right? So I wanted to put on some earrings, which is something I really never done before. So this was a new world for me. So I wanted to be able to create a safe space where women can come in and basically get everything they need in one shop, or one-stop shop, versus going to various different places to get what she needs to feel whole again. And so that was kind of the concept of Survivor Friendly, and that's the concept you'll see across all of our 3 locations here in North Carolina.
Well, I think that this is so beautiful because even what you're touching on, right? Like sometimes it's more than just what you need at the time of that cancer treatment. I mean, it's well beyond, like the nail polish. I mean, thinking about the little earrings, right? Same. I didn't wear a lot of makeup when I was diagnosed, but then like I felt like I had to start drawing on my eyebrows.
Yeah.
I had never drawn on an eyebrow before.
Me either. Me either. And look, Dana, the thing is, and it's little things you don't think about. It's amazing. I love it when women come into our shops and say, oh my gosh, you thought of everything, right? Because we literally did. Our hats have drawstrings on them so that everybody has different sizes. Their hair grow back, right? So the circumference of their head may change, right? So you can now adjust the band to your circumference of your head. Or we even have book bags so that if they go into chemo rooms and they need to have snacks or bottles of water, etc. And I will say, you won't find a lot of pink ribbons, right? Or cancer paraphernalia in any of a lot of my stuff in my shop, because look, I'm not here to remind you that you're sick because you already know that. I'm here to remind you that you are a woman, you are beautiful, you are a survivor, you are everything in between, right? And so I want to make sure that I create a space that does not so medical, but also not belts, but somewhere in between where you feel like you're getting a professional service at the same time you're getting high quality products, and that we treat every person through the door the same. So that is kind of the design of every one of our boutiques, and it's definitely there to help you through your journey, even before surgery, and then, you know, post surgery, as well as through your survivorship.
I think that that's beautiful. I mean, you know this from me when I started Ana Ono, and the reason why there is no pink ribbon on my products is because our bras aren't meant to remind you what you've gone through.
That's right.
And I just like, I got chills when you said that, because as we enter into October, as we prepare ourselves for all the pink washing, you know, there's just this reality that, like, when businesses are started by people that share in that same lived experience, and you're absolutely right, Jacki, because cancer does not discriminate.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't discriminate age. I was diagnosed at 27. I have friends that were diagnosed at 18. It doesn't discriminate gender. Men and women get breast cancer.
Right. That's right.
And it does not care about your race or ethnic background.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
And nobody is untouched from this horrific, horrific cancer. And I appreciate your strength and the way that you want to empower other people. I just, like, every time I talk to you, I walk away so inspired. And I know we just share in so much of the same passion. And I think what's really also important to this is that you said insurance doesn't pay for everything.
That's right.
But let's talk about my favorite subject, mastectomy bras.
Yes.
Because I think that what happens is that patients actually aren't aware that they can use their health benefits for their mastectomy bras and their breast forms. And you being a certified durable medical equipment location with certified trained fitters.
That's right.
You can go to any of your store locations and use your health insurance benefits to get coverage that you need for some of the products that you do need. So tell us a little bit, how does that work?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So I'm glad you emphasized certified, because that is very important. I think I posted something the other day when I said it's not all about just aesthetics, right? It's also making sure you have the right fit bra, because your back posture is important. If you have any kind of double mastectomy or lumpectomy or anything, if you disturb your anatomy and your breast area, your back will try to compensate for it, right? And so you see, if you take off your breast forms, you'll notice your back starts to curve. So when our fitters that are trained sit down and have a consultation with the patients that come into our shop, we will make sure that the bra that we fit you in, not only you're satisfied with, but we also make sure that it doesn't cause any back problems, long term. So that's important. I always want to throw that out there, because people tend to think of beauty and not health. But kind of circling back to your question, the process is relatively easy. You get a referral from your doctor, and your doctor will either provide it to you, or you can give them our fax number, and they will fax the referral into us, kind of like a prescription. And typically insurance will cover 2 to 6 bras a year. That's 2 to 6 bras a year. Some insurances will allow you to get all 6 at one time. Some will require you to get 2 each visit. Our fitters typically like to give you 2 per visit, or maybe 3 per visit, because a lot of times, as you know, after surgery, you can have a lot of swelling from your lymphedema. So your bra size may change, right, over a course of several months as you're wearing compression, or if you're doing any kind of lymphedema machines or treatments. So we like to make sure that the size that we fit you in January or February is the same around November or December. But once you give us the referral, what's great about our shops is we are compliant with Medicare, Medicaid standards, so we can actually file the insurance for you. So you will give us, a sign-up paper giving us assignment of benefits, to our shop. We will submit on your behalf, and insurance will actually cover, in most cases, 100% of the cost of the bra, unless you have some sort of copay or you have a metro deductible. And that's pretty much it. It's that simple. And each year it continues to repeat for the rest of your life, unless they change something. So people don't realize that they are eligible for the bras. And one thing I should mention, Dana, is not just people who have mastectomy. If you have radiation and your breasts shrink as a result of radiation, do you not know you're also eligible for that benefit due to the Women's Health Act? Also, if you had a breast augmentation, let's say, for instance, you had implants. I had a lady today that came in. She had breast implants, but they were still a little bit uneven. She didn't achieve the symmetry she was looking for. And guess what? Not only are you eligible for the overlays, the breast forms, but you're also eligible for the bra. So always double check, come in, we'll run the check for you just to make sure your insurance covers it before we dispense any product.
I'm so glad that you said that, because it's not just about the mastectomy bra and the breast form. It's about achieving symmetry underneath your clothing and from any sort of aftermath that has happened because of those surgical procedures. Especially, I will tell you, lumpectomy women that have undergone radiation are always the most surprised, because it happens, the shrinkage happens gradually over time. And at 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you know, we hear all the time, they could have a cup size that's anywhere from half to a full cup different than the unaffected breast. And
that was me.
Yep. And I think that it's important, because if that makes you feel self-conscious, and I actually, you know, Jackie, what I love about this conversation is, like, there should be no guilt.
No.
In this whole, if you want to feel beautiful, if you want to put on your makeup, if you want to wear fun earrings because you have a new hairdo, if you want a beautiful bra, these are not things to feel bad about. Like, you deserve it. If anything, you deserve it more today than you did yesterday.
Absolutely. And that's the reason why I love your brand so much. It celebrates life. It celebrates you being a woman. It celebrates you being guilt-free, right? Like, look, no, I mean, this is not, you know, some people think, oh, you should be happy you're alive and that's it. No, I am alive, right? And as a result, I'm going to live as such. And, you know, one thing I want to mention that's important is that people go through different phases. I remember when I went through my lumpectomy, and it's exactly what you mentioned, the cup size, it was a lot of anatomy challenges. And I was so sick of surgeries, so sick of doctors. I said, forget it. This is just what it is, right? Until it was no longer, until it was a problem. So what I would say is, don't feel bad if your mind changed during the journey, right? You might be okay today. And guess what? 3 years from now, you may not be. You can still go and take advantage of the benefit that you have.
I love that, because it is for a lifetime. Listen, cancer's for a lifetime. So it doesn't just happen once and then you're done. These are lifelong side effects.
That's right.
That we all face. So this has been incredible. You are incredible. I want to wrap up with a few questions. For patients in your area, what do they need to bring to make the process as easy as possible when it comes to ensuring their health insurance benefits?
Oh, absolutely. So it's really simple. Bring your driver license and a copy of your insurance card and your referral from your doctor. And that's all we need. And we'll be able to, you know, run your insurance and make sure that you have the proper benefit. And even if you don't, one thing I wanted to mention, Dana, all of our shops have free, what we call free donation rooms. I hate to use the word donation, but because a lot of the bras are all new. We have a partnership with Pretty in Pink, and they supply all of our locations with brand new bras, prosthetics, as well as wigs and hats. So any person that comes through our shop, whether you have insurance or not, we will take care of you.
I think that that's incredible. And even through the Ana Ono channels, and again, it's not a donation, it's bras that we use for marketing and others. We are happy to send them your way, because I think helping these women in their time of need is utmost important. And we'll continue to send our donations your way as well. And that being said, from the nonprofit work through Survivor Friendly, please tell us how everybody is supposed to contact, locate you, find you. Give us all of your contact details.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find us on the web at www.survivorfriendly.com. And at the top, you can hit make an appointment. You can make an appointment online. It will give you access to all 3 of our locations, soon 5, because we'll be in hospital location. Yep. And so also you can call. All of our numbers are listed on the website. We have a location in Winston, Shelby, North Carolina, as well as Cary, North Carolina. Or you can just do a walk-in. I will caution you on walk-ins, however. With COVID, we do have a max capacity. So we already have our rooms booked with patients. We'll ask you to wait in your car until the patient is out and we have a room available. But so we really recommend people to call in or schedule an appointment online.
That's really important, and thank you for plugging that. So call ahead, schedule an appointment online, go visit Jacki and her incredible staff at Survivor Friendly. I have to tell you, it's not just 1 time, 2 times, 3-time cancer survivor. You are such an inspiration to me, and I'm sure those around you. And to take that experience and bottle up all of that passion and all that love, and I know how hard you're working to bring it back into your community. I mean, we really, truly are honored that you have given back your talent and your time to make a difference in those of us that are living with cancer and those of us that will be diagnosed with cancer. And I just can't thank you enough, tell you how much I love you and your staff enough. I just am so, so proud that we get to participate with you and with your community and offer Ana Ono through your channels. And of course, you know, by these means of this community, it really truly does make me feel like I am never alone, because I know that I trust any customer that we send your way to have the best and most positive experience that they can possibly have.
Absolutely. I will leave on this last thought. Please, any woman that's listening to this video, please make sure you're doing your self-checks. I found 2 of my tumors, right? Even after having scans. So I cannot tell you that the best doctor is yourself when it comes to finding your tumors. Make sure you know your body, do your checks. Make sure you write down anything that's different, and don't be afraid to go to the doctor and get it checked out.
And advocate for yourself. Like, you've spent all of these years advocating for yourself. And I even hate that we have to say that, but we're not there yet. And so just, if you have something in your gut that tells you this isn't right and I didn't get the right answer, go to another doctor or sit there until you get the test that you need to get, because it's not great that we have to do that, but we oftentimes know when something isn't right.
Dana, you're 100% right. If I have 2 more minutes, I'll share this. I haven't shared with anybody. Just recently, I found another spot, or another, it seemed to be like tumor up under my arm. And I called for over a week and a half, you know, let the doctors know that, look, I feel something that's different. I just had scanned 2 months ago and this wasn't here, right? And it was kind of downplayed, to be honest with you. I finally got in, they did a check, they did an ultrasound, and they said, oh, you know what? We don't see anything. It looks like just regular tissue. But you know what? I advocated and said, no, this machine has been wrong before, and I want to make sure. Can I get an MRI? Can I get a biopsy? And let me tell you, I have an appointment next week just to double check. So I agree with you 1000%. You have to advocate for yourself. If you don't feel that something's right, or if you feel that you need to do something extra, make your voice heard. If you don't know enough, you don't understand the material, or you feel like that there's more information that you can handle, grab a friend, grab your husband, your family member, whoever, right? But make sure that you take control of your own care, because you, at the end of the day, you don't want to have to live with the decisions that's being made. And so I can't emphasize that enough.
It's so true. And somebody as seasoned as yourself that's been in that chair more than once, you know, it's still important to continue to advocate. And my prayers and our thoughts and our love and good vibes and energy from Philly is coming down at you, my friend.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, I know Lord got me, so it's good.
Exactly. And you are so strong and so inspirational. And Jacki, thank you so much for doing this. I'm just so proud of this incredible community that we have, and even more proud to be able to do this with you tonight. And we'll be sending everybody your way.
All right. Well, thank you, Dana. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all that you do and your beautiful lingerie.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jacki.